Hey, good morning, everybody. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the market, and I'm a little bit more of a boring trader. GME is popping up again pre-market. Um, so hit a high yesterday in the pre-market. It hit a high of around 500 yesterday. In the regular hours trading there, it hit 481. Dipped as low as 110 and then closed at 193.60. And now in the pre-market again, it's popping up. I'm not going to trade this thing, but if you are, a level to watch is over there are going to be a lot of levels to watch here. Over the close, this high close from 2 days ago. Over the open from 2 days ago, and then it's already over yesterday's open and close. So it's in this candle. It's testing this candle. So then the high of this candle, and then after that intraday, there might be some levels inside of this wick right here that you'll want to pay attention to. But otherwise, it's then 483, this 483 target right here at the very top. So it looks like as of right now, it's attempting to open over, let's see, what's that, Wednesday's close. So that'll be a pretty big tell on what it's going to do for the day, whether it's going to fall back or keep going. Now, this is the way I see things with GameStop is there are two types of people trading this stock right now. It's active, maybe three. Active, what do you want to call it? Activists who want to stick it to the hedge funds, which is fine. Then there are traders who are just in it for the money. They don't have a care in the world, which is the way a trader ought to be. They don't have a care in the world what is going on fundamentally or emotionally or anything. They're just in it to make money. And then there are the, how do you call them, investor class, whether they're hedge funds or institutional investment companies like J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs. What's the other one that I always forget the name of? God, Bogle is the CEO of Vanguard. So, and they are also the market makers. So you got to remember, just because you have these big investment firms like Charles Schwab, they also have seats on the exchanges, and those are very powerful positions in the financial markets. And so, squeezing a hedge fund, there might be some rather large shops that are getting squeezed. So they're smart. I mean, they're the smartest in the game. They're the house. When you go to Vegas to gamble, you play the games. If you're there to win, you play the games with the best odds. You know when to cut your losses, when to double down on your wins. But see, this isn't Vegas. See, the guys that run the markets are there for investors. The mentality that is supposed to be dominant in the market is an investing mentality. This money is being attracted to the market for people to put there for a lifetime or a career through to their retirement. This isn't for speculation. There are speculators in the market, no doubt. I certainly am one of them. I'm also a participant as an investor. So just keep in mind This is temporary. What's going on with GameStop is temporary. These are emotions. These are people who are angry at the man, angry at the system, who want to stick it to some rich guys for once. This will come to an end, and GameStop stock is not worth what is any stock worth? It's whatever anybody is willing to pay for it. There will come a time when this stock reverts to the mean, and it won't be long. If I have a gut feeling, I'm not going to participate in it at all whatsoever. I have a feeling that GameStop stock is going to rocket higher. If not today, then maybe Monday or so, because now every time the stock goes up, everybody's cheering for it. And that may include some very smart hedge funds and brokerage firms and so forth that are going to take advantage of the emotions that are being put into this stock. They might run it up to $1,000 or $2,000 per share. I'm telling you, after they gather enough shares, they're going to dump it. They're going to dump it like a bad high school girlfriend or a bad high school boyfriend. There's just be careful. If you're going to get into GameStop and you're going to play the game, take profits. Don't get all wound up in this. I'm going to stick it to the hedge fund. I'm going to stick it to Wall Street thing. There's a new what was that Wall Street protest that happened in the 90s or 2008, 2009, whatever. Don't get fooled. This thing's coming back down. It could go much higher from here, and it probably will, because I think the hedge funds are gonna play this thing like a fiddle, and the market is there to take advantage of people's emotions for people who want to speculate and trade. So be careful with this thing. That's all I have to say. All right. SBE today is right here at the support line. I'm looking at this area to pick up some more shares here in the pre-market. You can see this trend line right here. So if it opens above it, that's good. It could dip below. That's fine. It doesn't scare me. I will be looking to pick up some shares along this trend line today. Let's see. Then next on watch, I have PFE, SBE, PFE. Okay, here we go. Let me switch this up. And BILI. Okay, PFE is next. I've got a couple levels on PFE here. And this is just rather simple Fibonacci retracement. And I took the retracement all the way from here. I have an old trend line from way back here on this thing. And so I took the retracement from here to the top of the trend line right here. And so these are just a couple of fibs. You can see it triggered in the, not too long ago, the alarm triggered on PFE and on KOSS for that matter. Let me put it back on. So I've got an entry above. If it goes to 37.24, if it opens above it, I'm looking at 37.24 for support. And if it opens below it, I'm looking at 35.84 for support. I'm going to put a couple of alarms on these things. Oh, I won't let me put an alarm there. It's not recognizing the horizontal ray for some reason. There we go. Okay, let's put an alarm on it. And right now it's below. So we'll see where it opens. We've got about 24 minutes until the bell. So then next up, I'm going to put that up on the 1 minute. Of SBE on the 10 minute. Fine. BILI, I put a Fibonacci retracement on this one. The deal with BILI here is it went through this really long period of consolidation here between, roughly, from 50 to 42 or so, and then it broke out. And so now I've put a retracement from I should probably move that actually. From the top of this move. There we go. So let me change up some lines here. Delete that. Delete that. So on the daily here, I've actually got a support at 114. What was that? 114.78. Let's put 114.78 up here. Okay. So I've got an entry at 114.78 on BILI. Then for momentum, got SIEB. I usually don't put levels, Fibonacci levels on momentum stocks, small cap momentum. I feel comfortable, a bit more comfortable putting levels on SIEB because it has a higher, it has 30 million, nearly 31 million share float, and it's up huge and has these pre-market levels that it's obeyed. Essentially, we've got the 50% level here, and then the 38% level here. So I'm looking for an opportunity moving above 1598. I want to take advantage of a trade there, and then a bounce off of 1399, 89, something like that. 1309 is a spot for a bounce. And it's subject to, to be determined whether I take a trade at either level. It just kind of depends on the price action, what's going on with it at the time, what kind of volume is coming into the stock. Pre-market so far, it's traded 8.75 million shares, and it's got a float of 7.76 million, so it's already rolled over its float. So that means it's going to grind. It's not going to be, there might be some rushes of volatility, rushes of buying coming into it. Selection of an entry will depend more on what the next 1 minute candle is doing rather than the support levels. It's just the support levels will act as a guide. And I might actually use support levels in this one for an entry. So move above 1598, then successful test and move away is one. Move above, test, move away again is one strategy that I like to use. And then another one is a dip to, maybe even a little bit below, then a pop back up above, and moving higher is another strategy that I like to use for momentum. So I'm going to move these Fibonacci's out of the way, hide those for a moment. So I'll be keeping an eye on those levels on the stock. It won't behave like a typical small cap momentum because the float is kind of high. However, it ought to work. So another, I put levels on this one too, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, I did. So I put levels on this one too, and these are just kind of guides. This will also be, if I'm watching it, it'll also be 1 minute candle high momentum strategy play. And so then, okay, KOSS. Now this is one that I've traded a couple times this week. I put levels on this one also, and you can see here, I'll go to the daily. This thing 4 days ago was trading at $4, $3 essentially, $3.50, you know, and it ran up to 127.45. I think this is another one of those short squeeze things going on. I'm not sure. I may trade this, I may not. I'll just have to wait to see what the price action is doing. I'm going to put it up on the 1 minute here, and I've got a bunch of levels mapped out on it. So we'll get an idea of what happens once the bell rings. So those are pretty much the strategies there. Let's see. SBE, looking for it to hold this trend line. Pfizer, so Pfizer, let's look at the daily on Pfizer. This is Fibonacci retracement, Fibonacci moves. Right now it's closing, as of right now, it looks like it's going to open below this level. So 37 won't be a level that I can play. I might be able to get a quick dip down to 35.86. That would be a great entry. I doubt it'll go down that far. I don't know. I'll put another. Let's put another level at the top of the gap here. And then I'll put another level at the top of this candle. Yeah, 36.98 looks more like that's a more realistic dip. The bottom of this breakup candle right here looks like a realistic spot. So I would actually say 36.98 and 36.55 are probably better entries for Pfizer. It's broken. Let's go back to the daily here. There's this these trends. This trend right here, this big. Let's see if I can. I'll make it a little bit thicker so you can see it a little bit better. Make it thicker than that. This big green line right here is. I'll put it on the weekly. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that's a pretty big downtrend right there. Where is that? Why is that so random looking? That's odd. That's there's another trend line I have that's off. There we go. That's more like the one that I want. So I'm going to start erase that one. Let's go with this one right here. So you can see here that it's broken above this big trend line here. This big topping trend line right here. And so that's what makes me really interested. And so I'm going to use these levels here. 36.55 actually does look like a really good entry. So I'm going to put an alarm on this trend line right here too. And see if I can get an entry on Pfizer today. For a trade, might be a swing. It'll probably be a swing trade. Okay, SIEB is moving a little bit pre-market, taking a dip down. Yeah, this thing, you know, and I don't see any news on it. The bit of news that's here on TradingView is from April 20th. Let's go back and check my Street Smart Edge. See if there's any news on SIEB. No news. The 1330s, we'll see if it holds. I usually don't get into trades pre-market. So I'm going to reactivate this alarm right here, if it'll let me. it's just gonna keep bouncing off of that price for a bit. So I'll stop doing the alarm on that price. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Click like. Not actually, I'm actually not all that interested in having a whole lot of people in this trading room. Actually, I would like probably just like a dozen people. Actually, if I were to get like a dozen subscribers and people who just wanted to come hang out and trade along with me during the day, that's probably about it. I'm actually not all that interested in having a large channel. Just looking for some online friends who like to trade and want to trade along with me. So let's see, I've got my windows prepared for I have my windows prepared for trading today. All my names are ready. I was able to get in at a decent time today. I got in the office at about 7 or about 8 o'clock today, which is a decent time to get in to start prepping. I'd like to get in earlier. I'd like to get in probably around 6, but as of right now, life is not permitting me to do such a thing. So eventually I will. Yeah, SBE. It would be nice to see SBE open above that trend line, come down, test it, maybe break below it for a little bit, and then come back up above again. That's always a kind of good motion. I'm going to keep GME GameStop up over here on the side, just to kind of watch it. I'll just be a spectator on this one. And my guess is, and I mean, that's all you can ever do really is guess. My guess is that yesterday's break in price, yesterday's breakdown with, which it's just so wrong for like Robinhood. I think Schwab even restricted trading on GameStop yesterday, and various other brokerages. Put a halt to GameStop's trading, and it's just so wrong. But that's the way it goes. I'm guessing that after yesterday, that the big boys, meaning the institutional traders, the guys who really run the market, they had an opportunity to get out of their short positions or make deals with other companies who are in the market but not shorting GameStop or something. My guess is they're going to run this thing through to the moon. My guess is they're going to run this thing. What Reddit said that they're don't let go of it until it hits 1,000 or something like that. My guess is that's public information now. That's sentiment on the equity. And my guess is that that's exactly what the hedge funds and the brokerages are about to do. They're about to run this thing to the sky. They're about to run this thing to the moon. And then leave all the retailers who jump in, holding the bag at some point. It's, the markets are no place for emotions, and it's designed. So like I was saying earlier, it's designed for, the market is designed for investors. And it's also designed to make as many people look as foolish as possible as much of the time as possible. So traders, there is a place for trading in the market. There is. but it takes discipline, and it takes experience and education, and not hard knocks. It's just it's designed. It's sort of like being on a racetrack, a 24-hour, one of those 24-hour endurance racetrack, competitions. It's not for people just to get on and do a lap and then get off. That can be done, sure. I'm sure there are race teams that aren't the professional race teams that like to participate in those types of races, who jump on and zoom around for a little bit with the professional race car drivers and then get off or whatever. But that's not the design of the race. The actual winning the race is for the folks who have the resources to stay in for the entire duration, and that's investors, and that's what keeps people investing. Is that people are willing to buy into the shares of the SPY because, over the course of 20, 30 years, it's going to appreciate with dividends, somewhere around 12 to 13% per year, and that's investing. So all of this other short-term stuff, it's just stuff. It's just, to make money trading, you gotta kind of give in to the fact that you're not one of the big boys. Us traders, with these small accounts, and I have a six-figure account to trade with, but I'm not a big boy. I'm a small potatoes. And the market lets me go in and on average pull out a few $100 a day. That's what it lets me do. I take my knocks, I take my losses too, but my gains are better than my losses, So GameStop, yeah, just be careful. Just be careful. SBE is still diving down here. Let's see, we've got a gap down here. Let's see if it goes this far. There, and we'll call it there. So right now, SIEB is kind of down, and you can see here there's this high, pre-market high over here at, what is that? The high is at 13. And then I'm going to cut my mic here and clear my throat for a second. Pardon me. Okay, that's better. So right now it's below this price here, this sort of pre-market run up right here. It's gone below that. So there could be support around this $9.98, $10 area, psychological support that makes sense, or around this pre-market low of $8.21. So I'll put those levels on too. Let's put alarms there. Alarms there. All right. I hate it when I do that. $8.25, okay. Let's see, LMFA. It would be funny if the stock was LMFAO, KOSS, and GameStop. SBE, we've got about 3.5 minutes to the bell. PFE. Yeah, Pfizer took a nice bounce off of 36.98 there in the pre-market. Let's see. 36.55. Let me get an order ready for 36.55. BILI is 114. Okay. 114.78. Gosh, I'm going to clear my throat again. Pardon me. Okay, there. Get an order ready there for BILI. And for SBE, it's around $39. Okay. Then I think LMFA is probably the stock that I will pay the most attention to here for the 1 minute setup. I'll probably do gap and go and see if I can get it to run up to 333 on 1,000 shares for about $300. Let's see what pops up. Let's see what's moving when the time comes. Okay, PFE. PFE's dumping. Let's see. Let's say 36.55. All right, so I just got filled at 36.55. Well, we'll see here. All right, I should have gotten filled there. My platform is a little bit slow. LMFA. SIEB is making a move. It looks like SIEB squeezed into a halt. I didn't get filled on LMFA. It's weird. So there's a gap can go there on KOSS. I'm probably going to stay away from KOSS. In fact, it looks like it traded on it's halted on the way down. A little dip down on SBE. PFE, giving it some time to work. BILI. The scanner's hitting on some things. LGHL, SGBX, ONCS. SIEB opened up again, and went right back into. It's working on going into a halt on the way down. Yep, just got halted on the way down. KOSS, KOSS came out of a halt and got sold off. This is, I don't know all the details on why this thing's moving so much, and I think it has something to do with another short squeeze. I made a little bit of money on it. I don't think I'll trade it again. LMFAs, I don't know. It's either putting in a bear flag or it's trying to make a bottom. One of the two. Most likely a bear flag. I have an entry at 258 for another 200 shares. There we go. So, okay, I'm now long 400 shares at an average of between 303 and 258, so around 275. So let's see if the support level works. This 258 support level. Pfizer is still working out whether it wants to close above or below this support line here at 36.55. So both SIEB and KOSS are in circuit breaker halts to the downside right now. All right. So let's see. 249 looks like it was an entry, and here over 260 is another entry for LMFA. KOSS is quickly selling off. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with KOSS. I don't know what it is or anything. SIEB is halted on the way back up again, and KOSS is halted on the way down. Let's see, it halted at 9:46. So at about 9:51, we'll see it open back up again. We'll see what it does when it opens. LMFA is attempting to make a comeback here. Over 260 is the next spot for it to try and make it back to above this consolidation area, but it's got to clear 260 first. About 2.5 minutes left on SIEB. LMFA just made it over 260. And then after 260, it's got to break 277 here. Say roughly 274 to 277 in that range. It's got a float of 15 million shares. So LMFA will grind at 15 million shares. And just let it do its thing. Let's go back over to SIEB. So the SIEB here did a gap and go, then a shakeout, and now it's on its way back up again. Pre-market highs are pretty high up there. So there ought to be room for this thing to run. There ought to be an opportunity to make some profit on this thing. LMFA is at 272, 273, a little bump down there. KOSS opened back up again. It's at 64. Looks like it's trading back up a little bit after a rather punishing decline. SIEB is trying to hold on to 260 again. All right. Now, SIEB is opened up again. All right, there goes SIEB. Very nice. Oh, back down. Back up. Was it squeezing into another halt? Looks like SIEB might squeeze into another halt at 1389. Yep, SIEB just squeezed into a halt at 1389. I'm long 400 shares at 1258. Let's see, LMFA. Hard to say which way it's going to go exactly. And 400 shares at an average of 281. It made a stab here for 274 for this 274 area. We couldn't hold it. Let's see if we can gain some more momentum for another push higher. Pfizer's falling below that support line, 36, 33. See if that'll hold. I'm long 400 shares at 36.43. SBE's creeping back above. Yeah, nice. Very nice. Okay, so it looks like the SPY is starting to level out a little bit here. Kind of took a little dip down after the open. It's down from yesterday's close by a few points. No big deal. Let's see what SIEB is going to do with the open. I think I'm going to let go of LMFA here. It's really heavily traded. I don't know, maybe I'll just let it run. Leave it alone and see if it can creep its way up for the rest of the day. Okay, SIEB closed at 9:52, so we've got about 2 minutes until it opens back up again. All right. So far I'm positive 450 bucks between SBE, PFE, LMFA, and SIEB. Most of my gains right now are on SIEB. A little more than $1 a share on 400 shares. All right, within the next minute, we ought to see SIEB open back up again. There we go. Vroom, run, baby, run. Very nice. $15, $15, $32, $31, $12. The next target there is over 16. If it can break over 16, it ought to really run. A little pullback there below 16. Little 1 minute pullback. All right. Yeah, SIEB has room to run big time. I think let's see, what's the next? VWAP is the next thing for it to hit, which is at 1817. So $18 ought to be the next target. I guess if it can clear 18, it's probably going to go to 20. Okay, I'll go ahead and take profits here. All right, nice. Sold at $17.50. Very nice. Wow. I sold really close to the top right there. That was nice. So this is the next pullback right here. So this is pullback number one. This is pullback number two. Now the idea is to wait for the next 1 minute candle to make a new high over the last 1 minute candle. And this thing really could run quite a bit higher. So on 400 shares, what made $5 on this? So it was a $2,000 share trade, $2,000 trade. Not bad. I'm going to dump LMFA here. Get that losing trade off my screen. SBE is doing its thing. This is a swing trade for me. So I'm now long 900 shares. Let's see, at an average of 38.94. So kind of added to my what I got in on the break over here, and then got in again, I think just above this line at 39 something or other. So yeah, I'm averaging in. PFE is at break even for me. I'm at 36.43 per share on PFE. All right. Let's see, realized gains here. So LMFA cost me about $170. At SIEB, I'm up 1,967. So far I'm up 1,700 on the day, something like that. Nice, very nice. Thank you, Mother Market. There we go. So SIEB is consolidating right here. It's nice to see it above this 1598 level. Stay above that. That's a nice level. And so these two levels down here, roughly the $10 level. Let's see what the low is down here. The low was at 1031. I got in after this halt. There was a halt that happened right here. It's kind of hard to see. And I got into that halt for that move up. BILI is working on making this bottom. I have a support level at 114.78 on it. We'll see if it can hit that price today or maybe next week or something. And it ought to be preparing for its next leg higher. GameStop. What's going on with GameStop? Little double bottom right there at 291 on GameStop. It's got some work to do. LMFA. Yeah, I dumped LMFA. That was probably a good, this 226 area is probably a good spot for a bounce off of $2. There's somewhat of a, so generally speaking, you want to be able to grab at least 20 cents off of any trade that you take. And so if you have a stock that's at $2 and it runs into its trading halt, you know, above $2, then there's at least a 20-cent move there for it to run into for profit. So LMFA, I have one red trade on it. Not really interested in it, especially after getting a nice piece of SIEB. SIEB's working on holding VWAP here. I hate it when I do that. So let's see what it looks like on the 5-minute. So yeah, it broke through VWAP on the 5-minute. Now it's dipping back below it. I think SIEB probably will make an attempt for $20 or so. I'm not going to risk it. I got a great move here. You know, I can take my cards and my winning cards and you know, walk away from the table a respectable green day and then have a nice Friday and, you know, go and do something else with my life other than sit here and stare at candlesticks and numbers and stuff all day. GameStop, PFE. PFE's trying to hold. I think I put an order in right down here at the bottom of this candle for 343. The low is 36.37. So I'm going to give this trade time to develop. Give it time to, you know, kind of come down to this level and turn around and go the other direction. Come back and take a look at it later. SBE, you know, it's right there at that support line, at this trend support. So I will, you know, I'll see what it does. You know, if this trend support doesn't hold and it's actually this right here, you know, I'll have to let it go. I've got red for fast lines. The SPY looks like it's working on bottoming out for the day. I don't know, we'll see. It did its morning shakeout. SIEB pulling pretty far back here. KOSS hit this $58 level a couple times and bounced away from it. I didn't trade it, obviously, or I'd be talking about it. I would have been pretty sketchy if I'd tried to get in on this breakdown candle right here at $58 a share. The pucker factor would be high, and I probably would have been happy just to get out of it, break even at that point. I definitely want to see Pfizer pull up above this green line right here. This is a long-term trend line that would indicate a long-term breakout. Rejection at VWAP for SIEB. Got a high on the day at 1843. Let's take a look at gold for a minute. Energy stocks. I'll probably look to get into some more sun here as it gets closer to earnings, maybe a little bit after earnings. The SPY is making an attempt here to push through. So push through the open, then pre-market's going to have roughly 377 to push past. 381. Ultimately, 385 is the target I have on the SPY. SIEB is still pulling back. About 10:15. Well, all right, everybody. So that was about an hour, almost an hour and a half worth of work today. I think I'm going to call it a Friday. Good luck out there, everybody.